Hi everyone, I'm Lauren Buckley and this is my analytics presentation on Instyle.com. Over the past several weeks, we have been learning about web metrics. In this presentation, I will give an overview of web metrics and how these learnings apply to the study of the online publication Instyle.com. Let's get started. When analyzing web metrics, we are looking for a cycle of behavior. Web analytics provide the story behind the data. There are different types of data that can be collected. For instance, quantitative data. This is data that is in numerical form. It can be put into categories, ranked, ordered, or measured. There's also qualitative data, which is descriptive data, including questionnaires, interviews, and observations. Next, there are different kinds of metrics, such as vanity metrics, actionable metrics, and engagement metrics. Vanity metrics include page views, registered users, downloads, bounce rate. Vanity metrics are digital analytics' first step in the world of analytics measurement. It really gives you an idea of how you're doing. Next, actionable metrics include active users, engagement, cost of getting new customers, and information about transactions. Lastly, there are engagement metrics that look at who is engaged. They look at repeat followers, shares, posts, click, action, and conversations. Next, we look at audience analytics. Audience analytics examine who is engaged, who is sharing, who are the new followers, and who is taking action. Through studying qualitative and quantitative data gained through web metrics, the answer to these questions can be found. Why is this important? Because it gives companies and brands insight into who is visiting their page and provides useful information about their behavior. This information can lead to increase in profit and engagement. Once you have the knowledge of basic web metrics and an idea of who your audience is, the best way of measuring success can be determined through well-defined KPIs and targets. KPIs, or Key Performance Indicators, is a metric that helps you to understand how you're doing against your objectives. It's important to set goals and define targets before moving forward with an online initiative. Targets should be set for audience, acquisition, and behavior. For audience, goals should be set for visitor demographics. For acquisition, you want to look at how the audience is getting to the site and their behavior once they're on your site. It's important to look at interactions and page engagement. Taking a closer look at audience, it's essential to have a good understanding of who your audience is. Market segmentation looks at dividing a broader market into subsets. Segments are smaller groupings of similar entities. Actionable segments include geographic, behavioral, seasonal, and benefit segments. Another way to look at audience is by personas. Personas are specific archetypes of people in a target audience. A persona has a descriptive name and is meant to be thought of like someone that actually exists. They are generally a composite of people that do exist. Okay, so now that we have a basic understanding of web metrics, audience analytics, KPIs, and personas, how does this knowledge apply to a site like Instyle.com? Instyle.com is an online publication of Instyle magazine. The site and magazine publication are owned by Time Inc. The site offers celebrity style news, photos, and trend reports. The primary focus of its content is dedicated to fashion, beauty, and celebrity news. Now let's take a look at Instyle.com's homepage. So as you can see here, this is the homepage. There's the look of the day where viewers can vote, and then photo galleries and such. Next, I looked at Instyle.com's audience. First, through Alexa.com, I pulled quantitative data about the audience, which helps to understand market segmentation and personas of the Instyle.com user. This graph shown here shows audience geography. We can see 62.4% of visitors are from the United States, followed by India, Canada, and the UK. Again, looking at Instyle.com's audience through Alexa.com, we can learn more about personas and the audience through the audience demographics. These graphs here show us that visitors are primarily female, they are college educated, and they are visiting the site from home or school. This brings me to my Instyle.com persona. Through the information I learned from Alexa.com, I inferred that the persona of an Instyle.com user is the fashionista. They are a fashionista. Webster defines a fashionista as a promoter or follower of the latest fashions. They are female, they are a 20-something, they are a college graduate, they are interested in fashion and beauty tips and trends, and they are a follower of celebrity news. Now that we've defined Instyle.com's audience and personas, let's look at how the fashionista would navigate to the Instyle.com site. According to Alexa.com, 15.5% of Instyle's visitors come from search engines. Top keywords are Instyle, one word, Instyle, two words, fashion tips, Instyle magazine, and style. Upstream sites include Google, Facebook, Taboola, Outbrain, and T.co. So now let's look at, if we were to go to Google and type in fashion tips, you can see an article from Instyle.com comes up here, 50 best fashion tips of all time. Once I'm on the page, I can check out the article, I can go through the pictures, I can also share the article through various social media networks. Utilizing social media is a great way to study user engagement. This brings me to my next point about user behavior. Now that we've learned about our typical Instyle.com user and understand more about how the site acquires visitors, we want to look at how the users interact with the site. Again, referring to Alexa.com, this graph shows how engaged visitors are on the Instyle.com site. Ways of studying user behavior and engagement include bounce rate, daily page views per visitor, and daily time spent on the site. As you can see here, the bounce rate is 46.9%, daily page views per visitor is 6.36, and daily time spent on the site is about 2.5 minutes. Studying Instyle.com's audience acquisition and behavior helps to define key targets and KPIs for Instyle.com. Currently, Instyle.com is ranked 1,949 in popularity compared to other sites in the US and 7,112 worldwide. So I started to think about what are some goals Instyle.com can set in order to improve on popularity, increase daily page views, and daily time spent on site, and lower the bounce rate. In order to answer these questions, we will need to look at additional analytics sites. So if I were managing Instyle.com and I was looking for answers to these questions about user behavior, I would first go to Google Analytics. So let's take a look at Google Analytics. So Google Analytics is a free site that provides information on vanity metrics and more. This is the dashboard. As you can see here, we can get information on user activity, new users, sessions, bounce rate, session duration, revenue, goal completion, as well as audience demographics. It also shows some qualitative measurements such as interests and also behavior. It can show affinity categories and it also shows how visitors are accessing the site, whether it's through mobile, a browser, or what operating system. And it also provides data about acquisition and behavior. Some of the pros of Google Analytics are that it's free. It gives a fairly comprehensive overall view of the site's measurable data. Some cons include that it doesn't allow for page level click streams. So now, Web Trends, unlike Google Analytics, allows for page level click streams. It provides a view into how and where people are getting to the site from specific pages on the site. It also has a heat map. Now, unfortunately, one of the cons of Web Trends is that you have to pay for the service, which is why I can't show you a functional dashboard. But from what I've learned, Web Trends offers a lot of the same data as Google Analytics, but the major benefit is the heat map capability and also displaying analytics in real time. The last analytic tool that I would utilize if I was managing Instyle.com would be HubSpot. HubSpot is a resourceful analytics service because it measures how many leads your site gets and how well those leads turn into customers over time. Again, a con of HubSpot is that it's a service that you need to pay for, and it can be fairly expensive. However, the pros include information on direct traffic, paid search, as well as social media. HubSpot gives the ability to create landing pages for things and helps track how well those landing pages convert to leads. So again, I can't show you a functional dashboard, but the homepage, gives you some idea of how the service works. So, in conclusion, going back to some of the questions I posed earlier in the lecture, what are some of the goals of Instyle.com and what can we do to improve on popularity? We should try to increase page views and daily time spent on the site and lower bounce rate. In studying Instyle.com's web analytics, one stat that surprised me was that the site loads very slow. In fact, 84% of websites are faster. If I were managing Instyle.com, my first goal would be to improve the speed of the site to load and then track how this improves on bounce rate statistics and does it help to acquire new visitors. That's my presentation. I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for listening.